Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Paul Trini here with one and only Anna McNaught. Day 3.
Hey, everyone.
Yay, day 3, and a little sad though.
Yeah, I'm feeling really sad. I mean, this
Yeah.
has been an incredible experience and so much fun hanging out with you, and I don't want to leave.
Yeah, I know. We don't. Trust me. We definitely don't want you to leave. But the doors don't lock from the outside. Otherwise, we would make sure you don't leave. And so, but you do have the right to leave. But we want to have you back as well. So
Yeah.
give Anna a warm welcome. We want to welcome you, Helma and Christina.
Hey, everyone.
Michael, Ash, Wendy, everyone. We're here in beautiful San Francisco. Actually, it is actually a nice day.
Yeah.
Being from LA, do you think I mean, I feel like it's getting better. It's still cold.
It's a bit warmer today, I think.
Yeah. The
I wasn't
sun's
outside
out.
for very long, but
Sun's out. It looks like a beautiful
Yeah.
day. It's probably still like 50s,
Yeah.
like 40, 50s, kind of around there.
it kind of feels like fall or spring or something, like on the East Coast, which I like, because
Okay.
I'm from the East Coast originally. So shout out to you guys.
Yeah, East Coast. Anybody on the East Coast? Just kind of curious. I think they're going to get like a ton of snow soon.
Yeah, well, I guess
Everything
it
east of
iced
the-
and snowed last night. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, wherever you are, I hope the weather's okay and hopefully you're nice and cozy inside. And thanks for hanging out with us. We have Anna here for 2 hours and really a full day planned. So some great speakers. Just kind of click through that one more time. It's cool to see such great work done. Big thank you to Howard. The Daily Creative Challenge just wrapped up, so hopefully you're involved there. Anna's going to take us through some Photoshop compositing. Then Andrew Segretti is going to be doing work. And Sasha, as well, is going to be doing some compositing, making some posters. But also today is different in that we don't have a challenge. Okay, there's still the Daily Creative Challenges that Howard talked about, but today is all about portfolio reviews, which will be fun.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, check that out, and we'll get that squared away for you. But yeah, it's Portfolio Review Day, which is going to be really fun. So,
Cool.
yeah, that'd be cool, right? And you looking forward to that?
I am. I can't wait to see everyone's work and see kind of what's been going on.
And
so.
I'm surprised at how beneficial it is just for like everyone. Just having a portfolio review is just
Yeah.
it's more beneficial than I realized. I'm like, oh, if they didn't pick mine, I don't care. I'm like, no, I'm really interested because this is such good feedback that I can apply to mine.
Oh, it really is. I mean, even just this week, going through my own work and working on everything with everyone in the chat and you and the rest of the creators here has been a game changer for me because I've been able to see areas that I don't usually see. So when you have a portfolio review, you hone into those things that you stare at so long and you know so well that you miss. And so I think that's really important.
Very true. It's this tunnel bit. You're way too close to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. And did want to say thank you so much because here's your Instagram, by the way. Anna McNaught, you can see her right here. And if I scroll down, and we could always talk about this, but this was on day 1. So again, just pointing out your quote-unquote portfolio is kind of how you're using Instagram and some of your work, including what you created on day 1. So that's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Check out her work. Awesome. So how's everybody doing? I want to say hi.
Talk to everyone today.
Yeah, yes, for sure. So always happy to hear if it's your first time joining us, and also like where you're from is always fun.
Yeah.
'Cause some people join us, from like say if I was like the Philippines, which like I don't know what time it is there. It's probably in that like evening.
nighttime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but always happy to hear where you're from, and especially if it's your first time, we want to welcome you. And the Instagram is Anna McNaughty. Cool Instagram handle. Into
Thanks.
it. This is our Friday, basically, so we're looking forward to this.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and we'll switch over to your screen. Looks like I see something
Oh,
new over
yeah.
here. Ooh,
Yes.
Space goes with
So-
your NASA sticker.
I
as
know,
well.
I know. I'm a big space nerd. I love all things related to space because it's kind of like that unknown thing that we don't know a whole lot about. So I think it's super cool. And so yesterday we worked on a the first day we did a airplane scene, as you guys saw on my Instagram, and then yesterday we did an underwater scene where we split a lighthouse in half. We had the above portion and the lower portion, and we were trying to figure out reflections and all sorts of fun stuff like that.
And you don't have to open it up now, but you know.
Want me
you
to?
Will, yeah, I do. That's the most passive way of saying,
yes.
Please open it up.
All right.
You don't have it open it up now, but you should.
Let's
By the
see.
way, for yesterday's challenge, we're going to be showing you the winner in a second. Again, it was all about creating a poster in Photoshop.
I don't even
Any
know
other
where
space
it
nerds
is.
out there? I don't know, Roman, if you're a space nerd.
I can't find it.
Oh, that's okay. You don't have to worry about it.
I don't know where I put it.
It's like largely influenced your design you did yesterday.
Oh, it's in day one's folder. Super organized over here.
Nigeria. Hello, Samuel from Nigeria. Good to have you here. We have anyone from Mars in chat.
Oh, I'm from Mars.
There we
But,
go.
you know. So if you're from Mars, we're friends.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and this is what happened. We were like at the last minute, what an octopus! Like,
yeah.
it's almost like drunk Photoshop after a while. Like,
Yeah.
it goes off the rails.
Yeah, exactly. So we had, yesterday we were looking at this and working on kind of like the reflections in here and getting everything to look cool. And to be honest, like I was kind of just struggling with it for the amount of time we had. And then we went into Camera Raw and that just
helped out a
really like made a difference in terms of the coloring. And as I went over yesterday, there's still a lot we can do to make this piece really look good and realistic and cool. But Camera Raw just helped that so much. So
Yes.
yeah, then we added our octopus.
Yeah.
And then things got real weird. So
I did. I'm into it, but thank you so much for showing this. And again, I like the waterline and all of that. I guess I'll kind of segue into the winner.
Perfect, yeah.
Yesterday's winner for the challenge is Julian Dufour. You can see it right here. Julian Dufour is our winner. It's all about creating a poster, and definitely Julian did an excellent, wouldn't you say?
yeah, I love it. I love that he took the lesson from yesterday and added that and like really just played with like the sky and the water. It is so all around so cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. Like, it's telling a whole story. Like, I don't know what, but I love these bubbles too, by the way.
I know.
This, like, really good job down here. I feel like this is really awesome. Like, great job of finding, like, good photos.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you think about it, you're doing something that's pretty difficult. And this is why I'm so glad you showed Camera Raw and just, like zero to hero awesomeness. It's hard matching two colors that are on the opposite ends of the color wheel.
Completely.
You know,
and
this
like
gold and...
yeah, and getting them to look good together, and even if, like in this case, you know, complementary colors, they're opposite of each other, but they match each other here.
Yeah.
It's like you get the tones and
Yeah.
the overall vibe looking really good.
Yeah, exactly. So, hats off to Julian Dufour. Congratulations, you have won 1 year of Creative Cloud.
Yay!
So congratulations, my friend.
Congrats.
I don't know if he's here, but we'll contact him through Behance. And thanks so much for that.
Yeah. All right, so today we are going to be working on an outer space composite using some of these images here. And to be honest with you guys and everyone here, like yesterday, I was just kind of planning this out and working on it, and I was struggling with it a bit. I couldn't find the window that I wanted to use. I couldn't really get things to work. And so sometimes when that happens, my advice is to just kind of take a break from it, step back, you know, take some time to regroup, kind of refresh your mind. And so yesterday I just kind of kept going on it, but I couldn't find my window. So I worked with Sasha, who you guys may have seen on the live stream the past few days, and she created this window for me. So she 3D rendered this, and I think this is an amazing example of working with other artists and how much, like, when you collaborate with someone or ask for help, how you can just like get exactly what you need. And so when she made this for me, I was like, wow, 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 this is incredible.
Yeah, Yeah, and that is good because it kind of did require, and I think even some people mentioned that yesterday, like maybe you can create it in 3D, but I like the idea of, just having your hands in like multiple apps and figuring out like what's going to be best for the project, at hand. A lot of the time, it's like Photoshop.
Yeah.
But it's cool for her to just like, hey, let me just go ahead and make a 3D model of this for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome because I don't know anything about that. I don't know how to do that.
It's a whole thing.
Something I'd like to learn, but just really, really kind of her and really great to have other people to work with while I've been here. So we're gonna be using this window because I couldn't find anything on Adobe stock, couldn't find anything really anywhere. And then
I did want to point out just real fast, people on Adobe stock, there are 3D models. That's like a whole other thing, but there would never be something this specific.
Okay.
Like I shouldn't say never, because quite frankly, you could build that stuff. Like what Sasha could even do is she can make a bunch of 3D assets and sell them on Adobe stock.
I didn't even know that. That's good to know.
Yeah, I wasn't going to tell anybody because that was my plan. And I don't need that kind of competition.
Seriously, who does?
But again, something simple like this, you just never know. So this is awesome. It's available.
So someone's asking about where I get my photos from, and I get most of them from Adobe stock to just, plug Adobe today. But I also use some of the free stock sites as well every so often. So these images that we're using today, though, except for the window by Sasha, these are from Adobe stock, and I just searched planets and found these. And then the main point of our image today will be this cute little guy who's going to be looking out the window onto this imaginary planet world. And what Paul and I were talking about that we really love about this photo is you have this guy looking out the window reading a book. There's some books here. So this outer space world that we're going to create, is it real? Is it in his imagination? Is it what he's reading about in the book and he's seeing this come to life? So I feel like there's a whole story behind this image, and I think that's what's really powerful about today's lesson. So
that is, and this is interesting because you have a couple different light sources.
Yeah.
Like which could be tough to work with, or it could really sell it.
Yeah.
Because the fact that you have an inside light source, you start to sell that glass however you do that, right?
Right.
Is that thoughts? Yep. I don't know.
Yep, exactly. And so when I was kind of playing around with this yesterday, again, like I said, I was struggling with it because I was like, I don't know if I want this light to be really warm coming from the inside and then the light outside to be really cool. And I just was like not feeling it at the time. But this morning, looking at it with fresh eyes, I feel a lot better. So I think we might be able to get into some cool details here. And so the past few days, we've spent like a lot of time layer masking everything. We've spent a lot of time working on adjustment layers and matching colors. And so today I don't want to waste too much time doing that because I want to start getting into the details of the window, creating some glow, and really working on that. So I'm gonna actually go into my final file here and show you guys how I've built this out. And this will kind of be a good example of showing what I've done so far.
Yeah,
too.
perfect. And again, just if you didn't join us the past 2 days, again, those are in the replays tab, so you can kind of, because you spent some time like selecting and cutting out things and adding some adjustment layers.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're really cheating. It's just like I think you felt like you would have been repeating yourself too much.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And I will show what I did with those layers and show you guys exactly how I cut them out, like the things I did and each step that I did them. So you'll kind of get like an overview of what I've already done.
And that's a good question, Nick. I think people will deal with it differently, but like the best way to deal with a light source when you're doing compositing.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of different ways to deal with it, and we actually were getting some really good suggestions yesterday and the day before in the chat.
Yeah, and again, we have three artists, designers today, and all three of them will do it like a little bit different. But you're on the right track with like trying adjustment layers, doing things globally, kind of getting into the details with dodging and burning on hopefully like a separate layer or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times I'll add just adjustment layers and then I'll inverse that layer and then like mask the section, which we were doing a bit of yesterday. So changing the overall layer and then just masking the area that I want the effect applied to. So.
Jimmy wants an octopus in the scene. So. I would love just like there's a planet and you just see this octopus like tentacle,
hey, we could add him in at the end of the day, you know. Okay, so the first thing I did here was I added this picture of Saturn, and then I didn't really like the rocky planet here because I don't want it to look like he's sitting on an actual planet. I want it to kind of look like he's up floating in the sky. And Paul and I were talking about that maybe this guy, this little boy, is sitting in the window of the lighthouse from yesterday as he looks out over the world.
Yeah, imagine that. Are we blowing your mind right
now? So then what I did here is I just did a very basic layer mask on this planet to add that in. And I could even, you know, touch that up a bit. I do see a spot showing up here. So just gonna quickly, let's see, make sure my flow is up and touch that out right there. So yeah, super simple there. Then I added some curves to just darken it a bit. And so in this case, I'm just kind of trying to like make my own space scene. Then I just painted with a soft brush, added some white in there to get that haze moving up, and that was just on a normal blending mode layer. I didn't do anything fancy there, just plain white.
And by the way, you're using your trackpad and sometimes a mouse.
Yeah, my mouse is in my backpack.
Oh.
Oh my God.
I feel like you feel compelled to use your mouse because like, oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I know, I keep
But you forget half the time.
Yeah.
Like I do the same thing. That's just funny.
I'm gonna try to set up my iPad with AstroPad or whatever that is and get things all synced today.
Yeah.
That's my goal. So
yeah, no, great.
I am very sick of using my trackpad,
but it also like works because you could you always have this with you. You could be in bed. You're in bed in the hotel and you can still work and do your thing.
Yes.
Like it's less cumbersome.
Exactly.
You know?
We got the patio set again today.
Oh yeah, the patio set.
Yeah, the trackpad.
A nice patio set.
I love it. The trackpad is great because, yeah, like Paul said, it's always with you. And I know some of you are probably like, oh my God, what is she doing? Not using a tablet and a pen. But hey, whatever works, right? You don't need a fancy setup. You don't even need a fancy computer camera. Like if you have skill, you have skill. So
yeah.
But yeah, so then I added, I just sampled this like aqua color in here and painted just on the planet there to kind of tie the two colors together, so you can just see that click before and after. So then I added my window in, and then as I kind of start adding some of the elements, I started coloring this stuff, but I'll just show you guys here. I added some curves to darken it, and we might play with that more today to kind of start to adjust that. And then I just added a blue color balance. So super simple stuff there. And then I added our little guy down here. And so this is honestly, I was struggling with this a bit because I was trying to, I didn't want to fully cut him out because I didn't want to lose his natural shadow and the reflection.
So nice. Keep the best parts of that.
Yeah, exactly. And so sometimes, you know, when you cut something out completely, and even down here, like there's this really great window ledge here that Sasha made, but I kind of want to keep this wood ledge that he's sitting on because it has this very like organic, natural feel. And then I also wanted to keep his natural shadow, because when you can keep those pieces of the original image that are true to real life, it will help sell it and make it look more realistic. And again, same with that reflection there, because this reflection makes this image. Look at like his face. He's like pondering, he's unsure of what he's seeing, and I feel like that just makes the image so much more powerful.
And yeah, I would love to see how you cut that out, because it looks like, I don't know, like I can kind of see that, just like the mask and all that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that was like hours of time cutting it out. I could not.
There we go. That's kind of what I wanted to see.
So you could see that just really sloppy, nasty, ugly mask.
Wow. Like it's like totally works, because seeing the end result, I'm like, how? Like I'm seeing the planet back there, but I'm still seeing that reflection.
Right. Yeah. And so, you know, seeing this mask like this, I even want to clean up this here. Because what I kept doing with this is I kept going over it in different areas with a soft flow brush and blending and blending and blending. And then I toyed around so much with this area here. At first I got rid of it completely, then it looked weird. Then I even added a shadow and I couldn't get it to look right. And so that's how I ended up with this layer mask of just kind of blending everything.
Mm-hmm. And can you, just so everybody's on the same page, I don't know if you mind just like duplicating that layer and getting rid of the layer mask, just like start from 0. Mm-hmm. Here's an image, here's how you make the layer mask, and then just paint.
So you want me to do the layer mask?
I mean, it sounds like people are asking, you know, show us how you cut them out. Well, we can show you the basics.
Okay,
just
yeah, because
like
that took me a long time.
Yeah, just like, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just delete that layer mask if you don't mind on the boy. Keep the original.
How do I get, there we go, okay. So I don't know what I did. I painted off my mask here.
That's fine.
But,
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I know.
So
because you're painting, you're like, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm painting on the actual,
exactly.
which is why I'm glad you're going over that. So you have one layer.
Yeah.
It could be any photo.
Yeah, so what I did actually first with this was I just adjusted his size using the transform tool to match it to the background window, because what I really wanted to do was make sure that these edges all kind of lined up so that I could blend them without spending a lot of time like cutting things out or making things different. You know, if you can make things match and make things just like fit in the scene, then you're gonna have a much easier time masking it.
And that's like this is like your hero shot. It's like the frame came later. So you're like, I gotta find a frame or build a frame that matches this photo. So that's good.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. You know, I showed Sasha this shot that I had, and so we built the window frame based off of this image. So you can see that we kept that lighting in here and behind him. Let me just turn this off. So you can see we kept that same light source. Okay. So what I did, and I'm not gonna
So yeah, hopefully you're gonna see that little window down there. Boom. Add layer mask.
Yep, add layer mask. And then I came in with a black brush, and I always use a low flow. And that's something we've been talking about the past few days. For those of you that missed it, a flow, changing your flow will take you to the full amount of opacity that you've put here at a slower rate. So 45% will get you there at 45%. So if I put my opacity at 35, say, and then I was painting with a flow of 45, I would only ever get to 35% with
like
my
maximum.
flow. Yeah, like maximum, but it's like the flow will gradually take you there. So it's really, really powerful for blending. And I usually work around like, you know, anywhere from a 2 to like a 30 sometimes, so.
Yeah. I was asking Sasha about this yesterday because she uses a Wacom tablet which has that pen pressure.
Right.
She's like, yeah, I don't really mess with the flow because she happens to have a pen that will allow her to control the flow to a certain degree. So this is great, like especially for me that I do the same thing you do.
Yeah.
Trackpad, and I mess with this flow. I bring it really low and build up.
Yep, exactly. I feel like that's just so great for blending. And yeah, I did see Sasha talking about that, so that was cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna paint and start blending this in here. And so I usually start by getting rid of all the harsh edges, kind of getting rid of everything I know I don't want. And just going around. And so then I'll bring the flow even lower here. And then what I did here was I actually had a very low flow and a big brush, and I just painted over this whole thing to get like this nice even effect. It's actually a little too much. So you can go really, really low here. And so I'm just painting over the whole thing so I don't kind of get like a sloppy looking edge. And then what I'm gonna do is bring the boy back. So then again in here, like I just came in and blended all this. And I worked much slower than I am today because what I really wanted to do is make sure I got the hairline and this edge really nice and making sure everything blended here. You know, this is actually going easier for me today than it did yesterday because I was so tired by the time I got home last night.
Like, you know, you were just so over it.
Yeah,
I'm so over this. I'm tired.
I couldn't figure out how to mask him. Like, I was staring at this just like, I don't even know what to do. I don't know how to mask right now. And so you just needed to go to sleep. Yeah. And so I want you guys to also know, like, don't ever feel guilty if you just can't get something done. Like, take a break, go back to it, and look at it in the morning.
Terry White's in the house.
Hey, Terry.
Terry, we went and saw you speak the other night.
Yeah, it was great to meet you.
Yes.
So now that we have him like mostly looking pretty good in here, since we did do a big flow brush over here, I'm gonna switch back to white. I'm gonna put my flow at 100 now, and I'm just gonna like touch him back up. And make sure that he's coming through fully.
What is chat? Who knows the shortcut for flipping the foreground and background colors? Because really, it's since you're on this layer mask, you're toggling between the two. Who knows that shortcut?
Here it is.
I know you know it. Anyways, just making conversation. Because that's what you do, bringing it in.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I've said the past few days, I end up just clicking instead of, I don't know.
No, I do the same thing. I do things very visual because I do a lot of tutorials, so I have to kind of do things on the screen. Yeah. And that's just the way I'm used to doing it.
Yeah, so. Same.
Look at all these X's.
X, XO, gossip girl. Just kidding.
Command I will invert. You got it. And then you can do, it should be command, let me try it now.
Someone said it's crazy doing it with a mouse. I agree.
Yeah, so Shift D will be your default. We'll set those colors back to black and white and really just paint them with black and white. Doing your things, looking good.
Yeah, so you can see here how I would cut this out. And so honestly, I don't even know at this point which mask is better because today I had an easier time with it, but.
Yeah, that's funny. So, yeah, I mean, both look, I'm either one.
Cool.
Good. I think another interesting thing to look at is, do you extend that wood, like, is it wood down here, or do you desaturate that and make that?
I guess,
like
I could do that. Well, I still have to add my book pile over here, which is going to add that wood back in. But I have been, like last night, I was just playing with it and I was like, I don't even know if I want the books in it anymore. So here's the mask I did last night. Here's the mask I did today. So definitely.
That's a good point. Like, compositionally, are those other books needed? What does it add to it?
Yeah, I think that's what we can decide as we go forward, because this is something that happens to me all the time. I start working on something, and I have all this stuff happening, lots going on in my composition, and towards the end, I just delete all of it, except for the main subject. So let's just go with the mask I made last night, now that you guys can see what I did, since I have everything ready to go. And let's see here. So then I added some, let me just change these to clipping masks. So then I added some selective color on him to get rid of that yellow. And so with selective color, you're just gonna add an adjustment layer, and then you're gonna target the color that you don't want. So in this case, I had, there was a lot of yellow that I didn't want. And so you just change that then. Based on that color.
Good call. And I stand corrected, because if you just hit D, it'll be the default color, the default black and white, by the way. So thank you so much for that.
Forgot about that
Everybody, to keep you honest here, it's not Shift D. I thought it was like Shift D, but either way, it works. Do you think there's like another little boy on that planet looking out a window at
Maybe.
where he is?
Maybe. We could get real crazy with
Or
it
is
at
it
the
like
end here.
Octopus Boy, like a different boy?
Oh, yeah. Maybe he has like a half octopus. Like he's like a merman.
Yeah.
A submariner.
He has like a helmet filled with water.
Ooh, yeah,
and
there
he's
you go.
like reading. I wonder if somebody's over there.
Oh, we're getting crazy over here.
So you did this, so you shifted the yellows?
Yes. So I just did a selective color layer, and because this was so yellow down there, I didn't really want that as much.
That makes a huge difference.
Yeah. So you can see, I didn't even like that color yellow. So if you wanted it to still be warm, you could obviously do that. But I just wanted to get rid of it completely. So I just added that.
That really helps out so much.
Yeah. And then,
and then what happens in
win.
space is fireworks. Thank you so much. It's time for Chat and Win. Diving in right now. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. And these fireworks means it's time for Chat and Win. So basically, say something in chat, what planet you're from. Maybe it's Earth, maybe not. That sort of thing.
Yeah. Maybe it's Saturn, like what we're working on.
Or like, where do you want to travel to? I know Anna here is a space nerd. Has actually done some work for NASA. Is that okay that I say that? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can say
Okay, good.
it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, would love to hear from you. Just English words, like, so we know a cat's not walking on your keyboard. And we will select somebody at random, and they will win this wonderful Moo notebook. Not this one, because I got my grubby hands all over it. It's all goobery. Gross. But congratulations to the one and only Tara Rose. Tara Rose is the proud winner of this Moo sketchbook that has this capability. It has new folding technology. Like, it says a turn. This is the original swiping over.
It's pretty nice.
And
It's
has
a great
lined
notebook.
and unlined. Yeah, I like it. I like this protective little. By the way, everybody gets 15% off through moo.com/Adobe Live. So make those business cards or just a card that says, hey, your hair looks nice today. You just like hand it to somebody.
Yeah. Oh, I like that idea. That's a good idea.
Because who wouldn't want that?
I know.
Like if it's earned, like you're like, yeah, my hair does look good, and somebody gave you a card. I'm like, thank you for noticing. And you had cards printed up.
Ah, great idea.
Yeah.
Let's take
Just little
advice from him.
complimentary cards.
Yeah.
Like, hey, because there's notes that people leave on cards like, horrible job parking, Joe. But you have like, you parked very well. Like, you nailed this parking job.
That's a great idea.
It.
Let's do that. Let's start a business of nice
thumbs
business
up.
cards.
You nailed it.
Little compliments.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, Moo is great, though. I get my business cards from there, so it's awesome. So yeah, diving back into this edit. We just added some selective color, changed that there so you can see how much of a difference that makes. So funny. I love the comments.
Christina says, hey guys, not your hair looks good. I'm going to take that as your hair looks good.
Yeah. Both of our hair looks good today.
Even if somebody's like, your hair doesn't look good. Oh, you mean it does. Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's my world.
So then...
Bam! This is looking good.
Yeah, we could talk about hair all day. But,
yeah, we can.
So then I just added curves to darken him a bit because I didn't want so much glow coming from down here because I really want the focus of this image to be on the window and on the boy's face.
Mm-hmm.
So just simple curves layer there. And then what I did here was and same with the selective color, I just masked it.
Yeah, I hear you.
To show his face. So I can let me just color that back in here with white so you can see what I did.
Okay.
So when I added the curves, it looked like this, and then I went in with a black brush, and again, that nice low flow, and just brushed it out here so that the light source was still coming onto him and that we had that nice like bright glow in the window.
Yeah, that's great. And and also like Sasha did this yesterday, but like you could start with your layer mask all black,
Yep.
and then you're painting in like the highlights, because that's essentially what you're doing here.
Exactly.
which is-
Yeah. So yeah, you could do that either way. You know, if you wanted to inverse your layer and just go Command I, so that like flips your mask, and then you would paint with white, or if you just add it as an adjustment layer, then you would paint with black. So many different ways to do this. Oh, someone just asked if I was Mandy Moore, so that's a great compliment.
Oh, good. I was wondering about that. I read that, like, is that like? I think it is.
Definitely
Yeah.
a compliment.
I
I'll
could see
take
I
that.
could see the Mandy Moore.
Especially with like her new comeback with This Is Us, super cool.
Yeah.
So
It's too kind. It was too kind.
yeah.
This is looking good though. I would say these tips that I'm learning, selective color for sure. You know, pulling out those warm tones, bringing in just cooler tone. Let the cooler tones exist.
Yeah.
Make a world of difference.
Yeah. So that definitely helps a lot. And then just adding that curves to really focus the attention. I love using curves to pull attention into certain areas of the image. And plus, you guys know from my style that I really like everything to be super dark and moody. And so using curves to darken everything, kind of adding my own personal vignette, and then popping the center is like my thing.
And I think we're only going to see like more of that, I feel.
Yep, exactly.
Some
And so
Mandy more of that. I feel.
oh,
That's so
that
bad.
is
That was
good.
the worst joke.
Oh my god. I think I'm done. See you guys tomorrow.
And I'm out.
All right, bye.
Oh, help us all.
Yeah. So then I added the books in, and let's check out that layer mask. And
So much more challenging.
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
this is interesting. It
it's
is.
a nightmare, and I am not gonna layer mask that on air today because that was
No.
not fun. But I will
Well,
show you my
but
mask.
even like, no, that's fine. Not only that, but just like matching the color.
yeah.
Because you want it to live in a bluish, a cool environment, but you have this,
Exactly.
yellow or orange light. So.
Yeah, and I was struggling with that a lot because I kept almost thinking about just getting rid of the books completely because I felt like there was, a mess of color and different things going on. But then I decided keep them for now so we can all kind of work on it together and decide what fits best.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, not only do you have this color happening here that you have to work with, you have like the shadow that you want to keep of the books so you don't have to like rebuild that, and the glow coming, which is again what I was talking about with the boy. You have these natural effects happening from the real photo that you want to keep because those are so crucial to the realism of this, even though we're surrealism.
Yeah, into it. I like that. Emphasis on the realism
Yes.
for the surrealism.
Yeah, like I feel like there's a good balance that you want to keep between surrealism and what's real. And so then I also wanted to make sure that I kept this reflection in the window.
Yeah, and which works. I'm really interested in how you like work with the color here.
Yeah, so
Like
that's
how
what
how you do the selective color and stuff.
Yeah, I got into that next, and we can do that from scratch if we want to. But what I really focused on here was kind of, I guess, making those yellows like a bit more magenta and kind of having like a bluier feel to them in a way. And so if you guys want to see that, I will gladly start that from scratch, but I want to at least show you what I did first, and then we can dive back into.
Perfect.
So then I added some hue and saturation and just desaturated it a bit there. And maybe even went a bit too much because now it's looking at kind of desaturated, but we can always adjust that. So then I added a color balance and kind of just, touched that up in here, where I brought this warmer glow back in here, but left the coolness over here and the coolness like on the edge of these books where that planet light is coming from. Then added some curves on the front here to just brighten up that front part. And looking at it now, I think I need to touch up the lantern here and get rid of the curves on there so that it's just on the glass.
Yeah.
And then added some curves to darken everything.
That's very nice.
So there's
that
the
last
books.
curves layer too.
Yeah, so you can see.
Yeah, I'm into it. So you've done I mean, obviously this is like a really good job. I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
So many questions and things to talk about and stuff. I would love to just like maybe we start with that first selective layer. You don't have to do anything to it, but at least open that up because I want to see what you again, that's where you kind of started, and then you just pulled down the cyan.
Yeah.
Or the cayenne, as some people call it. Nobody calls it that. But you did the same thing. Like you did this on the boy. They came from the same environment. Let's kind of start with the same controls.
Yep, exactly.
But this was so much more complex. That's why you ended up with, like 5 adjustment layers there.
Yeah, because the boy was pretty much, he was looking pretty good except for the yellowness. But these books, I just was like, oh my God, if they're fully glowing orange, then they're not going to match this world that we're creating. But they still need to glow because there's a lantern sitting there. Like so many different things to work with. So the main thing here was just like adjusting these tones, especially if we just set these all back to 0. The biggest thing here was like, this is so yellow and I want it to be a bit more magenta. So I just kind of pulled my, there we go, went the wrong way. Pulled my magenta slider in and then, what did I do here? I had added some cyan and then really kind of got rid of the yellow and brought more blue in.
And you can kind of take a little bit of a hint from like his cheek or his ear, like whatever warm tones are in the scene to try to get it to match up.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Because you're definitely right. There's like no yellow. I don't feel like there's very much yellow here.
Yeah, and so sometimes like when I'm doing the selective color, like I'll go all the way to see what the extreme end is, like even adding actually more cyan like that looks good. And then, just kind of playing with these sliders till I get it to the right point. Because I think sometimes pushing something to the very, very edge of what it should be will teach you too, how to bring it back slightly and adjust it. So.
Yeah. And that was my next question, because you kind of just hinted at this a little bit ago, like, you're like, and I noticed that I need to sharpen this or do something. Like, you worked on this last night, and then was it, when you woke up today and then looked at it, you approach it with literally like fresh eyes. Do you notice things?
Oh, definitely.
Which is so nice.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, it's amazing what sleep does.
Yeah, it really, I mean, especially because I stayed up till like 11 o'clock working on this and
like,
my eyes were like,
yeah.
It's like, I just want to go to bed. I don't want to do
really,
this.
that's good, because that's the best thing you do for yourself is not work on it.
Yep.
The best thing for it is to not work on it.
Exactly.
When you hit that point.
Yeah, to just like take a nice break. And so I'm looking at this now and I'm seeing things like, okay, well, I want to touch this up. And so what I really love to do is I will get, when I'm working like in real life, not on air, I'll get things pretty much to the point where I want them, layer mask done, colors added in, everything looking pretty good, and then take a break and then go back in and touch up those minute details that I just was like so over the day before,
Yeah, and a lot of times you don't know what's wrong with it until you come back and then it's revealed to you like, oh, that's what's wrong with it. Another thing I was going to say is like you might ask others.
Yep.
Ask, your husband, ask your brother what's wrong with this, and which is also why we have portfolio reviews. So that's also my segue into that. You can check that out in the portfolio review tab right next to chat. You can see it right over here. But go ahead and submit yours. It's basically going to be your Behance page.
Yeah.
And we'll just approach your portfolio like from fresh eyes and everything. So
Tim says 11 p.m. isn't late at all. I guess you're not a night owl. Well,
especially for Tim.
When I mean,
he's also in Europe.
Oh, that's
he's
that's
like
true.
in Germany.
And also, when you've been up every morning at 6 a.m. and drinking with Paul Tranny, then 11's
I
pretty
apologize
late.
in advance. I apologize. I apologize to whoever has the 9 a.m. shift with me.
Yeah, no, it's great. But I was feeling last night, 11 p.m. felt like 5 in the morning. I was just white. So
same here.
But yeah, so then, okay, let me turn these back off. I turned them on. I got overexcited. So we did our selection or selective color, and then now, because I touched things up, I think this hue and saturation is a bit too much. So I'm gonna come into the hue and saturation and just bring this saturation back a hair. Maybe just a little bit.
Tara, you could submit whatever work you want as long as it's in your Behance portfolio.
Cool.
And that it's obviously like yours.
Okay, so then some color balance, which I might even adjust now. You know, maybe I'm just gonna adjust this mask a bit. So yeah, just kind of touching up that mask, and again, same principle that we've used on everything else, where you're just adding an adjustment layer and then painting with white or black to get everything kind of looking good. All right, so then we got the curves here on the window. And as I mentioned earlier, what I want to do is just bring this light back in here. And let's see, I'm going to paint with black. And get the curves off of that little lamp. Cool.
Were you painting with black there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can see over here, because my mask is black, it's inverse, so I'm working on the opposite. Sometimes it's like, it all depends on my mood. If I inverse my mask and paint with white versus if I have my mask normal and paint with black.
Yeah. It's kind of like what do you need overall? If you overall need everything to kind of disappear and paint in the highlights, then it's like white on black.
Yep,
But,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then just adding this dark curve down in the corner.
And Mole, great question. What is that clock doing over there? Portfolio submission deadline. If you go to the portfolio review tab, submit your portfolio. It's going to be a Behance link. Just follow the directions there. We'll review those in 42 minutes. Just a couple of them, because that's like all we have time for.
Yeah, zooming by already.
Looking
Can't believe
good.
it. Yeah, so we're starting to kind of get everything in place, and you can see now, like, by adding the books, we got this lower section kind of figured out in terms of like the wood board that he's sitting on, because before we were talking about maybe pulling the whole board over or desaturating it to blend it in, and then we could decide if we want those books or not. Like, in a way they're cool, in a way they're distracting, so we can kind of decide on that. So next, what I want to do is really start to work on this window and start to get the glow looking really cool. So I found some bokeh that I just want to add in, because I think I really love this bokeh that's happening here on the boy from the reflection already, and I think I might want to add to that. So I'm just going to turn this layer on, and I'm just going to go to screen. So I love using screen for anything that's on a black background, whether it be bokeh or stars or anything really, because what screen does is it gets rid of the black. So now we have that bokeh, so it almost looks like, you know, maybe he's in a little room and there's like Christmas lights behind him or something. So we're starting to tell a whole story here.
Yeah, I like that. I was wondering where you're going to go with this, but this is good.
Yeah. So then I'm just going to add a layer mask to that, and I might even come in here and just like get rid of some of it, you know, kind of.
Now, these bokehs, I feel like you would probably have maybe like a little library resource of bokehs.
Yeah, I do, and that's what I pulled it from. And so, you know, sometimes there's like tons of resources on Google. You can find websites that offer like free bokeh, free stars. Lots of people actually sell them on Instagram too. Yeah. So I just
Which
kind
is funny, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, yeah.
But it's, you know, yeah, it's just interesting because it's also kind of almost like a, would you call it not an error, but it's something you maybe shouldn't be seeing. It's like a weird reflection
Yeah.
from the lens, you know. So it's like maybe, but it.
Yeah,
Anyways, it's
yeah.
just kinda-
Bokeh's weird because it's like it is, I guess, in a way like an error.
Yeah, just this little light refraction
Yeah.
that you would think you wouldn't want, but it works so
Yeah.
well for so many like photos.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, there's some, you know, Instagram artists and photographers and stuff that are like known for it, like Brandon Wolfel. I'm sure everybody on here knows him. He's super cool. He's like known for his bokeh. So, and he got super famous.
Is that who we were talking about earlier?
I don't
Maybe
think
not.
so. Yeah, his work.
Oh
is
yeah, all of the bokeh.
Yeah.
Like, all of it. You win. You have it all.
every bokeh in the world.
Yeah. You.
All right.
You speaking of bokeh, you have a bokeh bag right over there.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what would
I have
call
a
your bag.
sequin bag, and it's just
Sequin.
like, just gems everywhere. So yeah, starting to get that to look pretty good. And I actually do, you know, sometimes you could come in here and add an adjustment layer to this. Maybe we do selective color on here again. But I actually really like this tone that we got going on here. Let's see. So see, you can change this color of the bokeh.
Or
to-
bokeh. Do you guys call it bokeh? Are we like pronouncing that right?
Well, it's funny because I've heard it in so many different ways. I heard the real way you're supposed to say is bokeh, but I don't know a single photographer that
Yeah,
says bokeh.
Exactly. I had to double check because
Yeah.
somebody asked, but I was like, everybody says bokeh like Alberto Silva says, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Essentially
funny.
just the
It's-
little light.
It's Japanese.
Yeah.
It's
Is
a
it?
Japanese word,
Yeah. So
which we will screw up all of those.
Yeah,
Like, as
yeah, we
Americans,
should
I
even
screw
try.
up like Wacom versus Wacom.
I
that
know,
sort of thing.
that's one of the most embarrassing things that I'm always like, Wacom, and then
And I
people
kind
are-
of don't like people that correct me. Like,
Yeah.
You know, okay, great, you're smart.
Yeah,
but
like, we
we
get
know
it.
what we're talking about here, don't we? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it's like
actually,
potato. Who
Yeah.
cares?
I would mispronounce it the rest of the time on purpose.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm a
exactly.
jerk.
To just be like, oh yeah, look, we got a lot of like jokes in the chat now about. So you could add.
Oh, there we go. I think Carol found the source. It was actually first invented in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm
Really?
just joking. No.
Oh, I was like, what?
But let's just make up a whole new backstory.
I'm super gullible.
It was
Don't even get me going.
Boca Raton in the 30s.
Whoa, that's
Picture
cool.
this. Camera's been around a little while. No, I don't know.
Man, yeah, I don't know. Lots of cool stuff with that, but yeah, it's just a great thing to use in everything. So,
Yeah.
so I played with a selective color first, and so you could do it that way, or you could just change the hue and saturation like this. Woo, party! So if you didn't like the yellowness to this, you know, and wanted it like maybe we go a bit redder to kind of match the books. You know, I don't want it to be blue because it's coming from the inside, but I do kind of want it in that orangey tone.
Yeah, because I feel like it should kind of match some of those other warm tones in there.
Yeah.
So that is good.
Yeah, so then I just kind of, you know, I layer masked out a few randomly, just whatever kind of look good, but maybe I add them all, maybe I have some, but...
And are you still, sorry to interrupt, but like, are you still working on that scene in the window?
Yeah.
Like moving things around and stuff like that? Because that starts to be a whole composition.
Yeah.
That will, you know, infer where you put those little bokeh.
Exactly. And so the reason I put them here for now, and we might even make them smaller, but I put them here because of these bokeh up here that's already happening in the room. And as I mentioned, like, I don't know, I just imagine this is maybe like Christmas Eve or something, and there's like a Christmas tree behind him, and I don't know. Now it looks like a robot or something.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what?
You'll be staring at it for like way too long
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, so I'm just
We're
gonna
seeing
leave it
weird
like that.
shapes in it.
And we can come back and figure out what we want to do with that. So everything's pretty much in place, and so now what I want to start doing is focusing on the overall light and getting like this window to look really good, and then we're gonna do some glow techniques.
Into it. I'm excited about that part.
You guys can also see I finally organized my layers because I had some time last night to put everything into folders. So I'm just gonna put this in a folder as well.
It's looking good. Thank you, David Glissman, using the original, so like Japanese. I have no idea.
What is happening? There we go. You know when your brain just melts and you don't know what you're doing?
Yeah. It is interesting because like you're used to like normally just like working on your own and not even verbalizing what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you realize I kind of need to know what things are called. Like we're talking about the naming of things. And I think actually Tim brought up a good point. If you are teaching it, you should know the correct pronunciation of. It's funny that I mispronounced pronunciation. Help me. Help us all.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So did anyone decide on what the correct pronunciation?
Everybody's just typing in how it's spelled, but I need it phonetically. It's supposed to be bokeh.
But I've never heard a photographer say
everybody
that.
says bokeh. So it's in terms of slang that everybody understands versus the official. I don't know.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. But I think in your case, and everybody does this, even when like Sasha was doing this a lot. She's like, oh, I go click on this thingy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I do this thing because you're just not used to. And then you like have to kind of slow down.
Yeah, yeah.
I think normally you would work faster, but
Right.
thank you for joining us and working slower for our benefit.
Yeah, you definitely have to slow down on things and think about what you're doing, and then even just like the order that you do things. I mean, I bounce around all the time, and I won't even realize that I went back and touched something up. And so saying it out loud is really good, or really intense. I mean, not good.
Yeah, no, it just changes the way you kind of do things a little bit.
Okay, so let's start to add some adjustment layers to everything here. So I'm gonna start with curves, and I'm just gonna click in the center and bring this down a bit and darken everything up. Maybe like to there, and we can kind of play with this. And
this is awesome.
Yeah, and so then I'm gonna come in with a nice big black brush and a low flow and just start to paint out the center of the window here. Zoom in. So what I'm doing here is just bringing that light source back in from the center. And again, you could do this like, as we were saying before, you could do it reverse. So I could also, let me just get rid of this. I could do it like this, where add an adjustment layer, curves, bring it down like this. And then I could Command I and invert that layer, and then I could just paint the black around paint with white around the edges to bring that back in. So 2 ways to do everything.
Yeah, I think this really adds a lot, and I noticed this with your work. It just like really like brings focus, and I don't know, just like it's so much more captivating, like having these hidden lines and not having all of the information.
Yeah.
But just the important pieces of this. This is the focus of this piece. I mean, you're really helping focus by using these curves.
Exactly.
Does the planet Saturn look a little stretched, or is it? It might be a little. Is that a perfect circle?
Maybe not. I guess if you look at it sideways, it's a bit wonky.
Yeah.
So we could fix that if we want. You know, we could come in here to the layer, our Saturn layer, and we could go edit transform, and then we could maybe warp it a bit. Let's see.
Yeah, and it's probably just a touch, but I think that's a good.
Yeah, you can see.
A good eye.
Yeah, good job.
Larry.
That was cool.
Good stuff, Larry. Thank you.
So that definitely fixed it a bit. You could also, you could come in and just Command T and do a basic change of it. And so now with the new version of Photoshop, you don't have to hold in Shift anymore to scale it proportionally. But if you do hold in Shift, then you can scale it in the direction that you want, disproportionately. So yeah.
And that's a key thing to remember. Like it very well could have been a perfect circle, but like regardless, if it doesn't look that way, distort it until it looks correct, regardless of whether it's perfect.
Right.
Like it's the case of something being in the center versus visually centered.
Right.
Right. So.
Exactly. So yeah, and I feel like the biggest thing too is, there's so many things of like what's right, what's wrong, what looks good, what looks bad. Like art is always a personal preference
That's why I love
too.
it.
And yeah, I mean
I
art,
love it's very
art,
fuzzy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's no
Yeah, who was it? Andy Warhol, I think, who said art is what you can get away with, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
You
It's
really,
a fun quote.
when someone's like, this looks like crap, I'm like, hey, it's my imagination, not yours. So,
Yeah.
although I do love constructive criticism,
Yeah,
but
yeah, and it's a like you still got to be able to. I mean, I don't know. It could be whatever you want.
yeah, I think like, getting feedback, talking to other people about your work and figuring out what looks good is super important. But when people are just like mean, that's not that any of you are, because you're not.
No, it's been like super helpful because I think that was a great call.
That was a
'Cause
super
I didn't
good
notice
call,
till
yeah.
they mentioned it, and they're like, boom, you should probably take care of that. And here's like compositionally, I like this. We could probably even do like some other things, but I definitely like how it's not in the exact center of the window.
Yeah.
I almost think, would it be better what if it's shifted over this way?
To the center.
Since he's kind of looking more toward the left to
True.
this side, is that where the planet is?
We can
But to have that like balance and looking at something like as a composition. No, never mind. Bad idea. I like how it was.
Goodbye. Yeah, so like that's what I love about layer masks or just this sort of concept is you can play with your positioning.
Yeah. No, you're right though.
Yeah, I thought about this a bit.
Yeah. No, but it's good off center and yeah.
Cool.
Oh, Larry's from Saturn. That's how he knows.
Oh,
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you for
I wish I was from Saturn. That would be
joining
pretty
us.
awesome. So I just added a color balance overall here, and then I don't know. I'm kind of like playing with this as I go along. Like I know I want the inside to be very blue, so I just added that like extra blueness, and so again, just kind of making my own like vignettes here.
Quick time check, less than 30 minutes to get your portfolios in. We'll review your work as people are kind of checking out yours. Tom says it's cool. Sarah Anderson says it looks so nice.
Cool.
How long did it take you to like find these like images? And what was that process like?
It didn't.
Just the whole idea, like
This idea as a little, so I did something like this before where a girl was looking out the window at planets, and I really liked that, but I wanted to kind of expand on it. And so I had that idea in my head, and then I searched on Adobe Stock I typed in looking out window. Like I will write in my idea into Adobe Stock.
Okay.
And then then I found this little guy and I really liked that, and then that's what drove the window, and then I searched planets, and so then I just kind of found something that I liked, and I knew I wanted this really like cyan aqua vibe, and so I was like, ooh, these are cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that is good. So again, like kind of like something that you maybe did before, or even work that you've seen. Again, I'm just with Sasha later on. She uses like Pinterest a lot, so she just has so many different Pinterest boards.
Yep.
So when she had time to come here, she was like, "Oh, I had this design that I thought was kind of cool, and then it's kind of jumping off from there.
Yeah. So she does a great job of showing like mood boards and everything, and kind of where her ideas come from. And I have a Pinterest as well, and then I also have like a Dropbox folder called Inspiration, and I put everything I find in there, whether it's someone else's work, like paintings. I'll take pictures of things I see. You know, sometimes I'll see like a random, I don't know, like something outside, and I'm like, that's cool if I put that and that and that and you know. And as I said on, I think day one, like once you start doing this work, your mind gets in that type of style of thinking.
Yeah. And I think something also that's good that you do is you'll go revisit like old work too. You're like, you have this new stuff that you want to work on, but it's okay, like, you know, influenced by this new stuff you find, you're like, hey, I can go ahead and do that with this older picture. Like, let's make, you know, the 2019 version, which I think is really good. You
Exactly.
know? And it's actually a very clear picture in showing improvements when you do that. So I'm into it.
Yeah, completely. All right, so let's see, where are we here?
Best compliment of the day. You're the vegetable of the broth. Thank you for your tips. I've never heard that type of compliment before, ever. We're gonna take that as a very positive one.
Yeah.
Vegetables are good.
I don't even know how to take that, but I'll accept it. I like that. So funny. So then what I want to do here is, I think I might, let's see. I'm going to add a bit of curves just down in the lower portion. So I'm just going to bring this down a bit, and I am going to invert that, and then with a white brush, use some keyboard shortcuts for you guys. I'm just going to paint this a little darker here, and maybe even like lower that opacity a bit. And so I'm just kind of trying to get some window vibes. And then I might even come up here and add a curves up here that's gonna be a bit brighter. Invert that. And then paint with white up here. But I actually might do this in a different way, which is something that I want to show you guys before we run out of time. So I'm just going to delete that. So one of the things that I do that I love to do to add glow, and Tim actually showed me a cool way yesterday. He messaged me on Instagram and to add a layer of white and to change it to divide and then paint with a brush. That was super cool. So I might experiment with that in the future. But something I do is I add a layer, and this is a really cool trick. I'm like obsessed with this. So I fill it in with black, set it to screen mode. Then I add another layer. I clip this, and then I add a gradient map, clip that. And then I go into my gradient map, make sure it's on this first guy, and then I add a color here that's pretty much like the main light color. So depending on whatever photo you're editing, if you know, it has like a bunch of orange, make it orange. In this case, we got a bunch of blue. So come in here, and I am just gonna kind of match this. Maybe like around in there. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's like the color picker doesn't seem to work in this case, so I just end up trying to like manually match it. I don't know why it doesn't work. If
yeah, it
some of you
totally
know,
should.
Yeah.
Yeah, for any color dialogue that has any modal color dialogue,
I know, I'm like, I don't know if
give me a
it's
color picker.
a weird setting or something. Let's see. Okay. So I'm just gonna click OK there, click OK, and close that. Maybe people are giving good tips on that. I don't know. So then I'm gonna click on this layer that I created, and you can create as many layers as you want within this. And so you want to paint with a white brush. And what we're doing here is we're actually making this like really cool like neon effect.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so you can control your light with it. And so if you guys saw on like the spider that I did,
so
that's
cool.
how I did this.
Do that. Like, glad this is being recorded.
Yeah.
Like, start 2 minutes back. Because I didn't know where you were going with this.
I know.
Was
this
like,
is one of my like favorite things. My biggest secret. I just revealed it on Adobe Live.
Yay. Yeah. So just paint, and hopefully that makes sense to everybody. We can talk through it. But it's that power of that gradient. It's everything that you have set up.
Yep.
But you have this non-descriptive like layers.
Yeah.
Paint some more. You can paint some more.
Right.
Do whatever you need.
Yeah. So
It's just like you're painting with light.
And this is where a tablet would be key.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, because I'm going to start painting here, and using my mouse, I can't get like straight lines. I can't get what I want. So if you have a tablet, like play around with this.
And with that tablet, you'll get even more gradation and some like swooshy lines.
Yep.
Really, you could like paint with anything. Mm-hmm. Have you ever? Yeah. And there are kind of there's kind of like light type brushes out there.
Yeah.
But again, you're trying to simulate pen pressure, I feel.
Right.
That's what I use them for.
Right, exactly.
But paint around some more. Does everybody see that? I know it's already gone. What do you do? Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. So I want to show first what I do in this case is I put it at like such a low flow, like even 1 or 2, and come into areas that I really want to glow, and then I kind of just start to add like a bit of a wash over everything. And then what you can do with this really low flow, and this is where flow comes so handy, is just build up. Paint and paint and paint and paint and paint and paint, and start to slowly like build that glow. I mean, this is like, oh my God, stupid pop-ups. This is too much, like he looks like little alien boy now or something, but this is how you can like build that cool glowing effect. Like, look at his hair. I mean, that's cool. Like, I'm not doing this realistically right now, but it's cool. And so let's just say I did like a nice wash on this in here, and then you can add another layer and then come in and paint like with a higher flow and start to do like those
even more detailed
work.
More
details. So again, where a brush would be super a pen would be super handy, because then you can get those, and then you can come in with like an eraser tool and start to kind of like blend things out if you want, so you just have that sharp highlight. And then I even have like a hair brush tool.
Okay.
Let's see, where is it? So many brushes. Oh, here it is. So you can paint with any brush you want in this instance. Oh, I'm still in my eraser. You just always want to make sure you're painting with white.
And then it's really those edges will be, typically gray, but really it's whatever color is in your gradient map.
Yeah, exactly. So if you did like your full gradient here, and then you're like, oh, I don't really like that, I think it needs to be a different color, you can click on your gradient map and come in here.
Yeah, change it at any time.
Yeah.
You can load up some new ones too. But there you go, perfect.
Yeah, so now I can change the color of everything. And so what I'm doing here, just so you guys understand, for any of you that don't really know gradient maps, I'm actually just kind of starting to get into them. But in creating this light, like we have the darkest area here, the middle area here, and then the white is what gives it like that neon pop. That look of like having, and so it's like having the darker on the edge, and then if you understand how like neon looks, you have darker, middle ground, lighter ground, and then full on white in the center.
Oh yes.
So I'm just gonna delete that layer there, and so then what I want to do, and I work on like a gazillion different layers for adding this glow, because I really want to have full control over it. So I might come back in here and then maybe just, let's zoom out a bit, like paint this edge. So we did this yesterday. If you click with your brush and hold down shift and click again, it does like a perfectly straight line. And so then you could like, go over this again to get that one area brighter, smaller brush, do it again. I'm just kind of like having fun with this. And And then you can come into blur, Gaussian blur, and kind of start to like spread that out if you wanted.
Yeah. Hey, Paul. Paul Van Summeren, good to have you here. Saw some other people another tip I saw in there was, a pen tool to make a path, and you can stroke a path.
Yeah, I've seen that as well. That's super cool. I know a lot of people that do that. I don't know why I hate the pen tool. I'm like very against it, but I use it, but I just don't.
It doesn't feel like as natural.
Yeah.
But if you do need that exactness on something, I'm like, I totally get it.
1,000,000%. So then here what I would do, and I could go in and clip this to the window if I want, because you can actually clip this light painting technique to certain elements. But in this case, I think I'm going to just go onto that layer since I made it a separate layer, and then just erase down the edge of this. So I'm gonna make that 100% flow, and just erase so it's not spilling out into outer space and it just focused on that window. Again, a million ways to do one thing. If you guys don't like that method, you can obviously do it a different way. So just kind of touching that up, painting in there. And so you can see here just how much this effect helped things. Paul's not even paying attention.
Yes, I am. Yeah. No, it's not. Well, I am paying. I'm so sorry. It took me a second, but I just wanted to show. I feel so bad. I'm sorry. Paul's not even paying attention.
I'm like, cool, look at my effect. Great, okay, no one cares.
Yeah, whatever, it's a Paco. No, just kidding. No, I was trying to pull this up.
Oh, okay.
Because somebody mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay, I forgive you.
Jerk. But just another application in your portfolio that you showed a couple days ago. Everybody's a little squirmish about it.
Yeah, so this was from a FFA, so I'll give credit to the original artist.
Is this you?
No, this is from a photo editing contest. So Third Eye Vision did the original image, and Skylar, I think is her name, was the model for it. And all I did was just edit it. So if you click on the arrow, that's the original photo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So then this was my first time doing light painting, and it was really, really fun. It took me a long time, but I did not win the FFA, but I sure learned a heck of a lot. So
that's so good.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Thank you so much for providing like the original, and then of course this version. Such a dramatic difference.
Yeah.
And you can see where you probably use that same technique to, right?
Yep, exactly. And so what I did there was like I brushed in with the glow really, really intensely, and then I just like erased where the spider's foot was so that you kind of had everything looking cool.
That is just like really cool.
Everyone's like, ew, spiders. Yeah, spiders are terrifying, but I was telling Paul yesterday that like working on this edit for like 10 hours or so ended up actually desensitizing me to it to the point where I don't care when I look at it anymore.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's kind of a cool thing. So yeah, what I was trying to show you was my new glow here. So here's before and here's after. And then,
and I'm sorry, but like trailing out this top part right up there.
Oh, yeah. So I just came in with so first what I did was, because I had the glow flowing over from when I did the Gaussian blur, I was saying that you can do this with a clipping mask to get it right onto the window. What is that called? But what I did is I just came in with an eraser and got rid of that line, and then I just kind of
exactly what I would have done.
Like blended that top. So then sometimes I'll even go back to the brush again and like maybe get that in there and start to paint things. And so as I mentioned, I'm doing each of these things on a separate layer so I can really like control them individually. So I might might start to like paint his knees.
I'm so excited because you've been talking. You got an iPad, right?
Yes.
iPad, and you have Apple Pencil. Is
yes.
that correct? With AstroPad, but I'm just excited for you to actually like work with something that has some pressure.
Yeah.
And really start to add these nice lines.
I'm
Because
so
I do
excited.
the same thing. And it's either like off or on with these touch pads and mouses, and then you have to go in and erase.
Right,
But
exactly.
It's going to be so much more natural.
I'm so excited. Like, I can't wait to kind of dive into that and learn more. And you know, I've been doing this light thing. I made it my New Year's resolution to learn light painting this year and figure out how I can create it. And so I've only been doing this since January, and I'm starting to like learn it. And so let's check back a year from now and see what I'm at. And I think I'll have like a lot more skill set. So yeah, always learning, you know, it doesn't matter where you are, you're always learning.
And speaking of learning, by the way, 10 minutes before portfolio reviews, I did want to show you this real fast because this is AstroPad, just to kind of give you an idea.
Ooh.
Here's real Photoshop connected. Usually, I think you could do it wirelessly, but I would probably do like a USB just so it's more consistent. But you have all these custom controls off to the side, so it will turn your pad, as it says here, your iPad into a customizable like Wacom type graphics tablet.
It gives me chills just thinking about it. I can't believe I didn't even know about this. Like I have just been sitting around looking at my iPad, sitting there like, come on, please, when's Photoshop gonna come to my iPad?
Yeah, and that's coming as well. And by the way, it's not like there might be some lag, kind of just depends on your connection, might be a little pixelation, and then it gets rendered. I still think a dedicated Wacom tablet could be better, but really what you're waiting for is like Photoshop for the iPad.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing. When it premiered at Max, I was just like,
yeah.
Big moment,
really,
big nerd moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I might continue with this painting. We're running out of time, so let's just do our amazing camera raw, because there's a couple other things that we haven't done in camera raw yet that I want to show you guys. And so I just copied all my layers and merged them. Someone gave me a trick for doing that yesterday, and if you're on, hello, but I can't remember how to do that off the top of my head.
The shortcut key?
It was like it's a shortcut to copy all of them and merge them onto a new layer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like 3 keys, and I don't know why I could never remember. I used to have it memorized,
Me
and
too.
it fell out of my head.
Me too, and like my hands aren't big enough to like stretch over the whole keyboard.
So, yeah, merge everything onto a brand new layer.
Yeah, because I want to copy everything so I don't get rid of all my work, and then
this is why I haven't had to remember. I just asked chat. And
I
like,
know.
It's this, Paul. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Thanks.
My shortcut is asking. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's abusing.
I know, we're
abusing
lazy.
the system. But it's such a good tip, and I can't remember.
I know. So I am going to turn this into a smart object as we did yesterday, so that we can continue to edit this in Camera Raw. So for those of you, Tim says Command Alt Option Shift Caps Lock. Oh, but yeah,
right.
no.
And I was like, I'm trying to do that. Anna, I need to borrow a finger.
I
ran out of fingers.
Okay, ready.
Oh, we got it.
I feel like some sort of monster or something. Okay, so if you guys have been watching the past few days, we've done a lot with Camera Raw, and you've seen how much of a game changer it can be for everything. And so I want to do that again today, and I know we're not really finished with the final touches on this edit. There's a lot of reflection stuff we could do, playing with the bokeh, playing with the window, but you know, I want to get into these final touches. So what do you think? Should we dive into that?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
So as I've showed you guys in the past few days, if you were live or watched the replay, you know, I'm just gonna make some simple adjustments here. Kind of changing things and this is just like Lightroom in terms of the layout of what you're editing and what kind of the method of how you're editing it. And so then we're gonna come over, let's see. I like to do a lot of split toning, and usually what I do is I will make the highlights really warm, but in this case we don't want warm highlights. We're working with this coolness, so I'm gonna just bump the cyan highlights a bit and maybe make the shadows, I don't know, like purpley pink, just a little bit.
Shout out to Rachel Rice, and other people might have said it, I might have missed it, I apologize. Shift Command Option E. And think of E as everything, but that will
Shift, Command,
Yeah.
Shift Command Option E.
Yeah, like those
Okay.
two and then E.
And does that copy all of them and then merge it, or just merge visible? Because
Yeah,
that's the only
I'll
issue.
show you real fast. So this is just,
Okay, cool.
again, all on like different layers, this stuff. I want to put everything on a brand new layer. Forget all of this stuff, by the way, because that was just me testing out the different shortcuts. Shift, Command, Option. So those 3 keys and then E. And then it makes this.
Shift Command Option E merges all. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, Shift, Command, Option.
Awesome.
And now you know.
Cool.
So thank you so much for that. That's why
Yeah,
everybody's-
that was a great tip.
Yeah.
Okay, so just kind of doing some editing here, and then let's see. You know, this is something I love. The HSL adjustments are awesome because you can change the hue of particular colors. So this is very similar to selective color, but when you're working either on a certain area of your image or your overall image, like so, we could take our blues and we could go ahead and change them. We could make them like purpley. We could make them green. You know, this is really cool because you're changing the overall vibe of your image. And so I see a lot of people who do this. You know, that's how they create their personal style by saying, okay, every time I post an image that has blues in it, it's going to go towards the aqua tones. So yeah, just playing with that a bit. And then of course, saturation, you know, you can change that. So maybe we bring that down a little bit. And then the luminance is really great because it controls the brightness and darkness of a particular color. So if we, you know, this would look really bad, but you can make it like super dark or you can make it super bright. And that's
Wow, that's fun to play with.
yeah, I mean, this is amazing if you have like just a simple image, like not a full edit, and you have a sky in it and the sky has been completely blown out. Just go into luminance and go to your blue and bring the blue down, and you'll be able, as long as you have some information in that image, especially if it's a raw image, you'll be able to bring that sky back in.
Yeah. And playing with these things, this has really tied the whole piece together. I've seen you do this over the course of the 3 days.
Yeah.
Like you're taking all the blues from whatever composite and it just like ties it all together.
Exactly. It's like giving everything an overall like filter or wash over it. And it's just a really great way to kind of bring everything together. And so then in here, you can also play with like your sharpening and your noise reduction. So sometimes I come in and I do like a bit of noise reduction just to kind of give it like that overall look. And then as we've played with the last few days, like one of my favorite things is the radial filter. So with this, we can kind of decide where we want the light to be. So I might do something up here. And I'm gonna make sure, you just wanna make sure that you are on inside. And then bring on this, I'm gonna just maybe bring, I don't know, sometimes I just kind of play with this a lot until I get the look that I want. That's a bit bright, and kind of spilling that onto the window there a bit. So you can see before and then after when you just spill it a little bit. So then adding a new one, maybe we do a bit down here. And then I'll add new again, do a whole window adjustment like this. And like, as I'm sure you've seen now over the past 3 days, like camera raw is my absolute favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, wow. I'm into it. And it's just fun to play with. And you really notice when you like sort of do the before and after.
Yeah, and that's what I want to show as soon as I finish with this before we go into portfolio review, just a quick before and after. So I just switched this to outside now, and so with this, what I'm gonna do is just darken it a bit. Again, really emphasizing that vignette that I created without using Photoshop's preset vignettes, because I want to kind of control it a bit. So I kind of want it to be up here, and we might not even need that. And then just to add a final touch, in this case we have done a lot of work already with curves and everything, so we might not need it. But I like to go into the graduated filter and then just bring up some darkness from below. And you know, you could bring that up a lot more. And this is really cool because you can use this to kind of like adjust sides of things. It's great for fixing skies again. Great for just adding like that final little touch. And then you could click new and bring it down from the top if you wanted. You know, you could like blow this out and get some like light bouncing up there. That could be kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, actually kind of does give more presence to the room.
Yeah, because you don't want to get rid of it too much, especially because Sasha did such a great job on the window. I want to show it. So yeah, you can just add a little bit there. And then I'm going to go back to the basic adjustments here and just desaturate a little bit more. Make sure everything looks good. And let's click OK. See how that looks. All right, so we're not doing a huge difference today, but you can see here's the before and here's the after. So it's just enough to really kind of give some cool vibe.
Love it.
I might even tone it down a bit because now it's like blowing the sky out a bit. But you can always, there's a couple different ways you could go back into your filter and edit it, or you could always just lower the opacity a little. You know, if you're like, that's too intense, just bring that opacity down and see how that looks. So, and sometimes when I do the glow effect like I did here, I don't use too much camera raw. So
I like what you're doing here, like, and you were mainly working on sort of the brightness and contrast of certain areas, but you could also, and it really didn't require you to do this, but you could shift the colors.
yeah.
Like I think of the image yesterday where the lighthouse was like underwater. You could have it more of a green at the near the top of the water, and then melt more into a blue. So you could also just play with colors in different parts of.
Yep, exactly.
Of that.
Exactly. That's what I love. And then even one of the tips Sasha gave yesterday with the what was that? The color lookup, which I didn't know too much about, like adding these cool filters on top of things.
Yeah.
So
and I didn't know if I just learned this from her. I actually don't know if this was, she's on a PC. If you have that field selected, can you use the arrow keys? Maybe not. That's probably only on a PC.
I can,
like you can't. I mean,
I can scroll through them, but then I have to hit return.
Okay, like this. Oh, this is
That's
interesting.
Cool. That's cool.
Huh. So again, lookup tables, it's like applying a bunch of these adjustment layers.
Yeah,
mimicking film.
Yep.
It's meant to provide a consistent look across multiple editing systems, but now it's also in Photoshop, and
yeah, it's very much
like if you don't know what you want to do, you just like, I jump in there and just try it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's a lot like adding an Instagram filter, adding a preset in Lightroom, and so that's, I guess, essentially kind of what I'm doing in Camera Raw on my own, is I'm making an overall filter for it. So.
And technically you can, because you could take all those and go to File. Under there, it's basically Save a Lot.
Right.
You know.
Yeah,
So, yeah, we'll see what we could do, Jan Erik, as far as adding a shooting star.
Yeah.
But our clock also says 00, as you see over there, which means it's time for portfolio reviews.
Oh, yeah.
You ready for this? So, let's hop in our own spaceship, kind of like...
Do we get to put our helmets on?
Maybe. Let's dive into portfolio reviews right now, though, huh?
Yeah.
Let's take off. Whoa. Welcome back, everybody.
Oh my God, we're gonna die out here.
I know.
Put our masks
we
up.
might. Although we are still in our little space shuttle. I think the little boys.
Yeah,
the little boy's right over there. He's just looking out the other window on the other side of the spaceship. Right, but we had to go to this side and look down to see these awesome, amazing portfolios that we have pulled up.
Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop. Pulled one up. There we go. I'm going to take this off.
Yeah. Although it is pretty cool.
Yeah. There's breathable inside. That's fun. You could keep it on.
I think I might keep it on.
You should. It's so fashionable. But we have some amazing portfolios. I wish we could pick more, but we want to spend some quality time with a couple of them. And we want to thank Tristan
Hey,
from
Tristan.
Dayton, Ohio, students.
Okay, I have to take this off because I'm echoing inside my helmet, so
Yeah. It had a whole color theme. It was working the white and the blue.
it's pretty cool.
So welcome. Portfolio reviews time. So we have this time reserved for portfolio reviews. We've selected 2. All we ask is that you just kind of like fill it out. We don't care what's in here. You can be a student, whatever the case may be, wherever you are in your career. I do want to kind of see where Tristan is. Final year in high school and
Wow.
pursuing a career in graphic design. That's so good to know what you want at a young age.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, awesome. Messing around with Photoshop, Illustrator, C4D for 2 to 3 years, freelancing. This has done smaller projects for clients and social media.
Wow.
I know. I'm impressed.
Oh man, that's incredible.
I would say already like a good style, consistent style.
Definitely.
Like you know.
Yeah.
This came from Tristan.
Yeah, cohesive look. Everything kind of has a similar style and vibe, so that's super cool.
Yes, and Tristan, thank you so much for joining us as well. Sometimes they're here, sometimes we're lucky enough to have Tristan here. We'll pick a couple of these. Tristan, if you're proud of a particular one, like let us know and we'll review it. Otherwise, we'll kind of just jump in here to this. We'll go older to newer. Spotify spoof remake featuring Juice WRLD. I don't know what Juice WRLD is.
It's cool though. Got the Spotify logo in there.
Mm-hmm. This is always fun to like run type together and things like that. I like seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. What's your thought as a designer? Like, kind of, like these are sometimes it's touching. Do you have it rest on that line? You know, sometimes it's maybe tight but not touching. Usually your eye wants it to rest, like this is perfect. I'm glad you don't have a gap there.
Yeah.
I mean, do you take that clear up to that top edge is a thought, who knows.
Yeah.
You're building a lot of tension when things are almost touching. But I love this. I love it when things get cut off. And I would even want to see more of that. Like cut that off and have fun playing with these letters.
Definitely. I would agree with that. And I definitely like when things are touching lines. Like I have some sort of OCD about things like touching and lining up and being in their place.
Yeah, exactly. Because your eye visually, you everybody's thinking the same thing. They want that to be lined up and know when to break those rules and when not to.
Yep.
But super, super strong. This is an animated GIF.
Oh, that's
we have
cool.
right here. Let's just... Okay, so this is the sort of full piece. That's really fun to have some animated pieces that don't really take away from the overall like design. Mm-hmm. I think it's, these are kind of pretty thin. This is awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love the CMYK.
Mm-hmm.
Got those colors, and it's just like really neat effect.
Yeah, really into it. Love it. Good job. I could definitely see Tristan making like club flyers.
Yeah.
Was that another one? Would I need to scroll down a little further? There's this one. There we go. This might be a little much.
Yeah.
But again, maybe I might not be the right demo.
I know.
I might be too old. Like, yeah. Where is this all flashing?
It's super cool, but I would say like to choose one of those effects, you know.
But I like how it got a response out of us.
Yeah.
We're like, whoa, there's some stuff happening.
Yeah.
So really
Awesome.
into it for that reason.
Whoa.
This is awesome, showing just the breadth of people that will be at this concert or whatever it is.
Yeah,
like the
that's
fact
cool.
that it flashes so much and I really can't tell what is.
Yeah, it's
what's
like
happening.
subliminal messaging.
Yeah, really like, just a lot of cool people with tattoos will be there. That's the impression I'm getting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure, I'll go. Love this, too.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Great job.
Ooh, I love
Really
the effect on
talented.
roses. Look at roses.
Yes.
The text.
Oh, that's nice, too.
That's cool.
I want to know,
subtle.
Tristan, I want to know how you're doing this. Are you animating this in Photoshop, just like with frames? I assume that's what the case is doing, because, After Effects might be overkill, but great job.
Yeah.
Good color palette. Notice how it actually has a retro effect based on the colors. And this is what I think Tristan did not just pick colors at random, but it's all influenced by this photo.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
that. Strong, good eye.
I know. I love how the roses like turn to green and you have this gradient of like the boat with the leading line. This canoe is like pointing at the lily pads and then you have the colors changing in that direction as well.
Yeah.
So just really, really good.
This like breaking the border, stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, super strong. Too much going on. Like there's so many pieces in this one portfolio. I'll hurry up. Same comments. Great color usage. Like overall, it's actually tough to mix even that in, but I think it all works.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Just they have all the music. Great job.
Awesome.
I think this was probably worked on over time because I feel like, no, actually, this is so good still. Because this is the thing. You want it to look like a complete package. Technically, the audience isn't going to see them all together like this. So I'm okay that these colors are different than these colors. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually a little more exciting that you shifted the color palette.
Totally.
But super proud of you, and that also is very sweet.
Oh, that's so cool.
Stop being so sweet. You are very good, Tristan.
He said, I saw him say that he does it in Photoshop, so that's really cool.
Perfect.
I need to learn how to do that.
Let's jump to this Nightmares one. And
Awesome
Sweet.
photo.
yeah. I could see you being drawn to something like this.
Oh, yeah.
Like you have the dominant light source and just having it play with everything around it is super fun.
Totally.
And I actually could see Tristan benefiting from what you've shown today. Just like really making that light up. But I love this grain back here too.
Oh, I know. It's so cool. And I also love the shadow from her eye. It looks like her makeup's running and like that she's upset and like something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it's like she's seeing this light. It's maybe in a way kind of like, this is the hope. This is something that's here. And I'm like really miserable. You know,
Yeah.
It's
a good image.
we can get super deep with this.
Yeah. But it's like, it's kind of, it's telling a story. We don't know what that is, but we're totally interested. And thank you so much. I like this stuff.
Yeah.
I think this does work. Kind of makes it look like an album cover type thing.
Yeah.
But just thank you for having fun with the text and stuff, right?
So cool. Yeah, I love it. He said original images are at the end, more of a manipulation thing.
Okay, cool. And I like this. So poster a day for 1 week, no rules. That sounds awesome.
Whoa.
No rules, people. I love playing these layer blend modes down here.
Yeah.
Like that's
so cool. I
Yeah,
need to do
great.
more of this, like poster week, no rules, or just challenging yourself. Like, what a great way to learn and to just kind of get into like new techniques.
Yeah, I agree. So I can imagine there's going to be a lot of these. There she is. Let me see if I can click on this. There we go. And zoom in.
Ooh.
Love the in and out.
Yeah.
The in and out. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it still says missing.
Yep.
If you're going to use the word missing, an easy thing to do is like not show all of the letters.
Right.
Like that sells. You're showing what it says. So that's
That
so
is
good.
so cool. I love like the way the circles touch and kind of intertwine.
Would love to hear how Tristan did this. Probably an Illustrator like blend tool, which is great. You know, simple shapes, not overworking it, because I think as a young designer you overwork things, and that's okay. But I feel like this shows like some restraint, even though a lot of things are repeated.
Totally. Yeah, and that kind of same thing. Like, love those circles. They're so sweet.
Yeah, those fun shapes. Great color.
Love the black eyes.
Yeah, it's really freaky.
Yeah. It's so well done, though. You did a great job of it.
And this, having fun with that type, like
Yeah.
you could see the first one we reviewed, which was just like here's 3, and now he's having fun with it.
Cool. Yeah, same thing with the type, like really cool treatment. I love the play of like all the different shapes. You have some triangles in there, like circles, leading lines. It's really interesting, and like not having the circle in the center.
Yeah, totally.
Like really good travel movement of your eye throughout the piece.
Like this would not nearly be as successful of a piece, I feel, like if it didn't have some of these curves and slants and stuff.
Totally,
You know, if it was just straight down and here's a circle and you're like, okay.
Yep.
Like you spent time on this and we're into it. Even this is like very clean.
Oh, these are the images he used.
Oh, okay. Even this, like you're just like, hey, this is a good layout. Like this.
Yeah.
This is like they're great photos, and you know when a photo is just strong as a photo.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're supposed to be reviewing this as a layout, but I like this. I like this as a layout. Well, like she's looking in. This is a cool bot. Like everything.
Yeah.
This is very. It looks like a professional cover to a catalog or something.
I know, it looks really good, and I love seeing these original images, and even like this one down in the corner of the girl, like she's the one who had her eyes fully blacked out, and you can see how intense her eyes actually are, and like the way he changed it.
Ooh, same thing here. Thank you so much for including these. Like that smudge that you were talking about, looks like it was added. Yeah. Thank you so much for including those. Great job, Tristan. Let's see. Let's move on to the next one. I would love to review more. I encourage you to, by the way. Awesome work. We don't have time for all of these. We kind of need to move on to the next one, but I just kind of like some of this stuff. Gradients.
Yeah.
You definitely know what's hot today. This is a hot look.
Yeah.
Black and white photo, gradients, cells. Those two elements alone can make for a great portfolio.
Yeah.
And then you're doing all this freaky stuff.
That's like, so cool.
Into it. Like, I'm playing with some other things. We get it. You're good. Stop it already.
Really good.
Like, look at this. It's so good. Thank you for not adding any color. Like, this doesn't need any color.
No.
I don't think it does.
No.
Like, this boldness.
Man, I wish I was this good in high school.
I know.
Tristan, you're going to be famous. Like,
I know. We're going to be, like, really nice to you because you might be our boss someday.
Yeah, seriously.
You know. I agree. So, Anel agrees. Has a great eye. But... So thank you so much, Tristan. You're amazing.
So good.
A student. Come on now.
Yeah.
So good. Moving on to the one and only Axel Zapata, graphic design, art direction, illustrator, Guatemala City, Guatemala.
Oh, hey, he did the one from the challenge. That was one of the...
Oh, that was this one. That's right.
Oh, that's cool
and
to
this
see the
might have,
images used.
like, I guess we'd have to check on this, but let's just go ahead and hit play. It's perfect.
Awesome.
And such a good way to do an animated GIF, by the way. You have everything in layers, go to timeline, frame by frame, and then you just turn on layers, and you have your animated GIF to post wherever.
Yep, I love doing that. That's a really fun way to show people, like, how you work.
There's a lot of work in here.
Whoa.
I guess initially, and actually, let's see. You can create an Adobe portfolio, and then I'd put things in categories. Because that work we just saw is different than this flat or this like branding work.
Okay,
so I kind of want to see everything like categorized.
You can put categories like folders inside Behance then?
Not on this page, but I think when there's different templates for creating an Adobe portfolio, and all it does is it pulls from these projects and makes a portfolio, and you should be able to categorize those. I'll have to double check on that though, but that would be the goal with this. Is like you almost need an illustration category, like this photo manipulation work.
Definitely.
And then you even have this like branding work, you know, but
yeah. Oh yeah.
Corporate manual, yeah, all day long. You could just you could do corporate branding obviously, but then it looks like you also do illustration. I guess that's one thing I'd like to see is if you did all of this, for instance, like let us know, or if you worked with others, you know, just let us know. But this alone is like super cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so
what's
cool.
it? Dr. Abuela Alvarez. What is Abuela? Is that like grandma?
Yeah, grandma, I think.
I think so too. This is great too, just this white type on this fun background. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, it looks like he definitely does a lot of illustrations and like work for clients and everything. And I mean, this is great.
Perfect.
Like perfect for a children's book or something, you know.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. This is like, we always pick on like something like Comic Sans, but here's a, a script font perfectly used.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
you could use Comic Sans there, but he didn't. He used something else.
Yeah.
That's what kind of goes there. Axel, which one do you want us to pull up? Any particular one? Would love to know. Like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah, I like seeing the sketch.
Yeah, this could be like Adobe Illustrator ideas, great font, vector illustration work, some more like textures in there. Yeah, great job.
Oh, that's cool. So, wait, scroll up.
I can go full screen with this one. Is this what you wanted to see?
Well, go back, because I think what we saw... Keep going. Yeah, this is his idea sketch of like laying it out, which I love to see.
This actually could be all the vectors from Illustrator.
Oh, okay, cool. I wonder.
Yeah. But great job. This is a good showing off his illustration capabilities. Definitely a great designer. Like these colors, wouldn't you agree?
Definitely.
So nice.
Yeah.
Like warms and cools. Totally
Yeah, I love
into it. How are we doing on time? We have less than 5 minutes. Oh, it is Comic Sans. Good for you.
Whoa.
I'm like, good. Like, we always pick on Comic Sans. Like, if you use Comic Sans, you're no longer my friend.
I know.
But it's like, no. It was invented for a reason.
That's
It's
crazy.
using things appropriately. That's it.
Like, and you almost wouldn't even know, like, it looks similar to Comic Sans, but you might not even think that it is.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, because
I didn't
he used
notice.
it really well.
I was actually thinking of marker felt.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, but it's all about being appropriate with whatever you're doing.
Marker felt was my favorite font, like in high school.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, this is cool. I can make my name look like it's in marker.
Yeah, there's so much work in here. Axel, do you want us to? We only have a couple minutes. I might as well go to this newer stuff. Since you're here, you do more with like Photoshop, photography. We'll take a look at this one. Proposal for a change of image for vodka. Okay, so this is the original like illustration. And then doing some compositing. I could totally see this as a case for like Adobe Dimension.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like seeing on the left, like, his thinking behind it. Okay, so snowflakes look like this. How can I make that into, like, a graphic? And then repeat pattern and kind of, like, move it and transform it and then change it into a label. So it's, like, really cool to see the process.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Oh, yeah, and, like, even with
fire,
the flames.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see from normal fire to blue fire to, like, vectorized fire.
Look the numbers. I don't know which ones. I don't know what that means. Cool. Yeah. Original like concept into the branding. Like that's very smart because you need to be able to explain that to a client.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't just put pretty pictures together. This is the concept, this is the story that we're telling, and this is why you need to like it and pay me a lot of money.
Definitely. Eric, I agree with you. I need to retire now. The new generation is too good. I know.
Now, and by the way, I didn't go into his portfolio or his about him, but he obviously has a lot of experience. He's been a member on Behance for 8 years.
Wow.
So, and this is what I like, participating in the creative challenges.
Yeah.
He's had experience. He's established in his career. He's like, no, I'm going to do these challenges because I need to get better, regardless of what I do day in, day out.
Amazing, and being willing to do that and try new things and experiment.
Yes, this is awesome. Oh, I remember this. So yeah, this is all the daily creative challenge. So again, he's just knocking out each one, day in, day out. That was about creating a book cover and yeah, just having fun. That's cool.
So cool.
Wow,
So
speaking of
creative.
time, we're like running out of time. We probably only have a couple minutes.
So sad. I can't believe it's over. The week's over.
I know, we don't want it to be. It's not over, by the way. Like, we got a full day of hanging out. We're still gonna be here. We're just gonna be like over there, maybe in the other room.
Yeah.
Other side of the camera. But all day long. Again, this is day 3. Started at 8:30 a.m. with Howard. We have these recordings as well, so you can go back, and as you go through Anna withdrawals, you can watch those replays this weekend, as well as Andrew's and Sasha's over the past 2 days. But again, we get our chance to spend some quality time with them, clear till 3 p.m. so Pacific time. And don't forget portfolio reviews. Like, keep those coming. We'll review those in the next sections as well within our next guests and everything. So I agree with Jan Eric. We're like, don't leave Anna, don't leave.
Thank you so much, you guys. It's been such an honor to be here and to chat with all of you and to show my work. And so if any of you want to stay in touch, like, send me a DM on Instagram and I will definitely answer. And we can be friends for life, and hopefully I'll be back here at Adobe someday.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's all about that. Oh. But yeah, I mean, it's like we're in this for the long haul. None of us are going anywhere. We're going to be nice to people, especially these up and comers like Tristan, who's probably going to be our boss someday.
Yeah, exactly.
But thank you so much. We have Andrew up next. So Lindsay, Axel, you're awesome, and stay tuned. And big thank you to Anna. Oh, we're gonna miss her so much. We have a gift for you in the other room. We want to appreciate you. Thank you so much, everybody. Stay tuned for Andrew.
Bye, everyone.